7:11 the time now. The funeral of Muhammad Ali will take place later today. The ceremony will be broadcast to millions of viewers around the world. World leaders and celebrities will be among 18,000 people expected to attend the service in the boxer's home city of Louisville, Kentucky.
My emotions were like one of shock, like really? It's a great honor, and it was really moving for me, and I felt really good about it, and basically the last undisputed champion is actually helping or saying goodbye to the greatest boxer, greatest heavyweight champion, Muhammad Ali.
I'm delighted to say that with us here on the show this morning, Barry McGuigan. Very good morning,
Good morning,
Barry.
Charlie. Good morning, Steph.
It's going to be an extraordinary event today, and means so much to so many people. What are your thoughts?
He was just such an extraordinary person and man, and he came along at a time when we suddenly had television. We could look at people thousands of miles away. He reached every corner of the earth. He was an amazing character. He was, first of all, an incredible boxer, Olympic gold medalist at 18 years old. He turned professional. He beat the great Sonny Liston, who everybody thought was unbeatable. He was a great orator. He was funny. And most of all, he was just a great human being. He made amazing decisions in his life. He beat the great George Foreman at 32 years old. He had those wonderful fights with Joe Frazier and Ken Norton and Leon Spinks, and he touched everybody. And what he did for the black people in the civil rights time, saying no to Vietnam, so many things that he actually did were just extraordinary, and it were perfect in the sense that, it was a sort of confluence of things happening at the same time, and one of the most important times in history, and that's why he meant so much to so many people. And he was just an amazing guy, and we were very lucky that he chose boxing, because he was a superb athlete. He could have been any type of athlete.
And what kind of impact did he have on your life? Thanks, as you say, he's been an inspiration for so many people, yourself included.
Well, if you think, I'm sure you probably don't know all of the the facts, but in 1973, 72, he came to Dublin and boxed a guy called Al Blue Lewis, and it was amazing. It was in the National Football Arena in Dublin. There was only about 10 to 12,000 people there, and it was an arena that could hold 60,000. And it was chaotic but still brilliant, and he had a hurley stick, and I remember so much about him being on the Late Late Show, and such a funny guy, and he wasn't well. He had a fever at the time, but still got in and beat one of the contenders and put on a show, and so that had a fairly profound effect on me growing up. But looking at all the stuff then, backdating and looking back at what he did and the people he met and things they done. We see him here with Ricky Hatton, and he, it's amazing when you think he didn't speak for the last 32, 33 years of his life, and yet he still had such a profound effect on people, because he was so much great footage that they had of him speaking and talking and doing those poetry and those rhymes. It was just incredible. Invented rap, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time.
He really did. He was ahead of his time.
I'm just interested. It's the events today in Louisville, which is, on the one hand, it's very, it's a family. This is his family who are mourning him. But it was very clear his own wishes and the family's wishes is to include everyone.
That's right.
That was very, very clear. Well, very much about what he was about, wasn't it?
Well, every ethnicity, every religion, and it very much represents him, because although he was pretty hard line in the time when he was a member of the Nation of Islam, it was for a reason. He was trying to get a message across, saying no to Vietnam, and I mean what a decision that was. It's almost like he could look into the future and knew what was happening. But he was ultimately a great person and a great human being, and he appealed to everybody, and he appealed to every nation and every race, and that's what today should represent, and that's what he wanted it to represent, and so it doesn't surprise me at all. It's really a mark of the man.
Barry, lovely to see you this morning. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks. We're going to be talking to Barry a bit later on as well in the programme too.